Um, my hair's all fritzed out. I don't know why. um, I wanted to do a follow up to my. I've gotten some dialogue, not like criticism or arguments or anything like that, but more people saying that they weren't aware of some of the things, the numbers that I brought up in a recent video where I talked about damaging cultures with tragedies and how those tragedies can affect that culture and that country wherever the tragedy happened for generations to come. It's an easy thing to prove. It's an easy fact to document. All you have to do is be inquisitive enough and be interested enough to know the truth. And the truth can be very ugly, as most of you probably know, as I've recently found out with an ex-partner. But regarding China, I got one person telling me that they didn't think the the death toll was that bad in China in World War II. Okay, so somewhere between 20 and 25 million people were killed in China during World War II, and the atrocities that Japan perpetrated on that country are unbelievable. The rape of Nanking, uh, just Google it, and you'll see some horrific videos. You'll see some horrific statistics. Um, and so China, China and Russia. Okay, so China, somewhere between 20 and 25 million people died. So put that in perspective into the United States. This is where I live. Instead of Canada on our northern border, let's say it was Japan, and they had the same kind of culture and the same kind of conflict with us. And we lost, let's be conservative and say 20 million people. That's like the entire city of New York, Philadelphia, and Baltimore, everybody in those cities being killed. Of course, it's not going to be that localized. In China, it's such a huge country. It's spread out, except for Nanking. Oh, there's another city that really took it hard. But just to put it into perspective, when you endure that kind of carnage, and you could say genocide, um, as a country, as a culture, that's that effect of that tragedy is going to last for a long time. And I'm going to say hundreds. It could be hundreds of years easily. And if I was doing a master's or a doctorate on the subject, the research would be astounding, I'm sure. I mean, what you'd find out about the numbers. So that's China. And now we are looking at China as being a possible enemy. We were blood brothers in World War II, the Chinese and us. I mean, we were allies, and we fought side by side, especially in the air, which I'm really interested, as you know. I'm an aviation enthusiast, but the Flying Tigers, the history of the Chenault Flying Tigers, Greg Bowenting flew in that group. They were all volunteers flying for the Chinese Air Force and P-40s, American airplanes, but still they were under Chinese management, jurisdiction, command. Uh, what a fantastic adventure that would have been, though, if you were part of that effort. And the kill ratio between those P-40s, man. My father flew a P-40 in World War II in North Africa, and he was an ace. He had 8 kills. He was credited with 6, but he had 8, and he got shot. But and he was up against superior German airplanes, the Messerschmitt 109s, although he had superior firepower. Okay, so I'm just saying the P-40, which was in China, I mean, we gave them those airplanes, and it's an amazing collaboration between the Chinese and us to fight the Axis and the Japanese in World War II. And now here we are squaring off. Okay, so why? Why are we squaring? What in the hell is going on? Okay, why could we? I mean, I understand Taiwan is a problem, and it's going to be a difficult one to solve, and I hope it doesn't end up being a violent conflict. But the Chinese and us, in my opinion, we're kindred spirits in a way. Even though they're a communist country, I don't believe in communism. I'm a capitalist through and through because I've done my homework and research and seen that that too much government is not a good thing. And I'm a Democrat. I'm a conservative Democrat. But I'll be the first one to say, the government's got to be kept under control. But that being said, January 6th and what the what the crazies that the crazy what would you call them, devotees of Donald Trump. That's another video. That's another subject. But January 6th, I'm totally opposed to what happened there. But the Chinese, I just wish that we could get together, like Tim Draper, a venture capitalist, very rich guy, but I love listening to him talk. And, he says the solution to most of the cultural problems that we have with each other can be solved just by meeting each other. And I agree with him totally. And he wants everybody to travel and to, expose yourself to other cultures. Americans are great travelers, too. I know a lot of people that travel to the Mediterranean, Australia, not too much to the Far East, though, and that not too much towards Asian cultures. And I don't have empirical research to back that up, but travel, get to know the other cultures, and you find out it's a fun, adventurous experience getting to know another culture directly by being involved with those people. So so those are the figures for China, and some people ask me about the figures for Russia. Okay, Russia was worse. Russia endured more casualties, more fatalities in World War II than any other country. Over 50 million, 50 million people. Now, if a country invades your country and the end result is 50 million people, I forget what the percentage of the population was then. What would have been 50 million Russians. I mean, how many people were in Russia? A lot. But those numbers we don't understand as Americans. Although the Civil War was bad, that was 100 and some odd years ago. Those numbers never happened in this country. I mean, obviously, slavery was just a horrible stain on our legacy and on our history, and we're still paying for that. We're still groping through that, the end result and the effects of slavery. And remember, slavery wasn't just for like 50 or 100 years. It was going back to the 1500s that, whenever the ships started going over to Africa and kidnapping all those people. So I just wanted to mention, give you some perspective on the Chinese and the Russians and what's going on today. In my opinion, I mean, World War II was what, 80 years ago? Let's see, 40, it started in 39, so that's 60, 70, 80 years. Yeah, 80 years. It's not a century out yet. And those countries and those cultures are still recovering. And it's going to take some time. In the meantime, everybody should travel and, immerse themselves into the various cultures on the planet. And what happens, what you find out, and Tim Draper is a great spokesman for this, is that they're human beings. And they may do things differently, but they're basically human beings, just like you and me. And getting to know them and getting to be exposed to their culture and understand everything better and what makes them tick and what makes them run. And they run into the same bureaucratic problems, with their governments that we have. Right now, Germany is trying to roadblock Tesla. They let them come in and build a factory, but they've subjected them to insane government oversight. I'm sorry this video went so long, but I just wanted to bring that up for food for thought. I hope you guys have a Cavu day. Take care.